Richard Blake was only 35 years old, but he was already one of the richest men in the country. He owned hotels, shopping malls, and several companies. His house was as big as a palace. It had 10 bedrooms, a swimming pool, a private cinema, and even an elevator. Everything looked perfect from the outside, but inside Richard's heart there was a deep emptiness. He sat by the large glass window in his mansion, watching the rain fall. The house was quiet, too quiet. No children running, no wife calling his name, no sound of laughter, just silence. Richard had dated many beautiful women, but they all wanted one thing: his money. Some of them even asked him how much he would give them before they agreed to date him. One girl said, "If I marry you, I want a car and a house first." Another said, "I like you, but only if you buy me designer clothes every month." He felt used. None of them really cared about who he was. They only loved his money. So he stopped dating and stayed alone. One evening, while eating alone in his dining room, Richard spoke to his best friend and personal assistant, Ben. "I'm tired, Ben," Richard said. "I'm tired of fake people, fake love, fake smiles. I want to find someone who loves me for me." Ben nodded. "You have to find someone who sees your heart, not your bank account. But that will not be easy, not when your name is Richard Blake." Richard thought for a minute that he was going to become someone else. "What if I disappear for a while and live like a poor man?" Ben dropped his spoon in shock. "What? You want to become poor on purpose?" "No," Richard smiled. "Not really poor, just pretend. I'll dress like a beggar and live on the streets for a few weeks. No one will know who I am. No money, no cars, no phones. Just me and the world." Ben laughed at first, thinking it was a joke, but Richard was serious. He was ready to give up everything just to feel real love. "But what if something happens to you out there?" Ben asked, looking worried. "I trust you," Richard replied. "You will check on me from time to time, just from a distance. I need this, Ben. I need to know if someone can love a beggar, not a billionaire." That night, Richard packed a small bag. He took old clothes, a torn blanket, and just enough money to buy food for one day. He left all his credit cards, watches, and phones behind. He removed his expensive shoes and wore simple sandals. He even rubbed dirt on his face and hands to look like someone who had been suffering. Before leaving the mansion, he stood at the front door and looked back. "Goodbye, old life," he whispered. "I hope to return with a heart full of love." The next morning, Richard took a bus to a far part of the city, an area filled with poor people, struggling workers, and street beggars. He sat near a dirty alleyway and placed a small tin cup in front of him. He lowered his head and began to walk. He was a little bit of a beggar. He began to beg. Some people gave him strange looks. Some held their noses and walked away. Others looked at him with pity but said nothing. For the first time in his life, Richard felt invisible. No one knew him. No one cared. At night, he slept under a bridge with other homeless people. The ground was cold. The sound of rats and cars passing above kept him awake. His body ached. His stomach growled. But he didn't give up. "This is what real life looks like," he told himself. "I need to feel it all." It was the 4th day since Richard had left his mansion to live on the street. His body was weak. He had not eaten anything solid since the day before. His lips were dry. His legs were shaking. He sat on the side of a dusty road with his back against a dirty wall, holding his rusty tin cup with shaky hands. Many people passed by. Some glanced at him. Others ignored him. A few laughed at him. "Young man like you begging, go and walk," one woman shouted. Richard said nothing. He just lowered his eyes. He was about to close his eyes from hunger when he heard a gentle voice. "Hello," the voice said softly. He looked up slowly. A young, dark-skinned girl stood before him. She wore a simple yellow dress. Her hair was neatly packed in a bun. Her eyes were full of concern. "You look very hungry," she said kindly. "Have you eaten today?" Richard shook his head weakly. "No, not today." She looked at him, then looked at her small purse and sighed. "I don't have any money right now, but wait, please wait here. I'll go home and bring you food. Don't go, okay? Please stay here. Just give me a few minutes." Richard stared at her. No one had ever said something like that to him since he came to the street. "Okay," he said softly. "I'll wait." "My name is Joy," she said, smiling a little. "Don't forget, I'm coming back." And with that, she turned and ran off quickly down the street. Richard watched her disappear around the corner. A small tear rolled down his cheek. He had no idea why her kindness touched him so deeply. Maybe because it was the first time someone saw him, truly saw him, as a person. About 15 minutes later, she returned. She held a small black nylon bag in her hand. "I'm sorry I took long," she said, breathing fast. "It's jollof rice and a piece of fish. I cooked it at home this morning." Richard opened the bag and the smell of hot rice filled his nose. His stomach made a loud sound. He quickly started eating. Joy sat beside him on the ground. "Eat slowly," she said, smiling. "Don't choke." After he finished eating, he looked at her and whispered, "Thank you." She nodded. "You are welcome." They sat in silence for a few minutes. Then Joy asked him, "Where do you sleep at night?" Richard hesitated. "Under the bridge, with other beggars." Her eyes widened in shock. "No, you can't stay there. It's not safe. People steal, fight, even get hurt under that bridge." He shrugged. "I have nowhere else." Joy stood up. "Wait here again. Let me go ask my father. Maybe he will allow you to sleep in our compound." She paused, then added, "I live with my father, my mother, my stepmother, and my stepsister. It's a bit complicated." Richard looked surprised. "All of you in one house?" Joy nodded slowly. "Yes. My father married my mother many years ago, but she couldn't have a child for a long time, so he married a second wife." Richard listened quietly as Joy continued her story. "My stepmother got pregnant first. She gave birth to a baby girl, my stepsister. Everyone celebrated. My father was so happy. He said God had finally blessed him with a child." He praised the second wife, said she was strong, classy, and a true woman. She sighed deeply. "A few months after that, my mother finally got pregnant too. Then I was born. But my father didn't care much. He already loved the second wife more. He said my mother was too local, too quiet. He spent most of his time with the second wife. He bought her clothes, gifts, everything." Richard frowned. "That's not fair to your mother." Joy nodded sadly. "It's not. My mother is a good woman. She cooks for everyone, cleans the house, and prays every night. But my father still treats her like a servant. Sometimes I see her crying, but she hides her tears." She wiped her eyes and stood up. "But don't worry, my mother is kind. If I tell her about you, she will agree to help." Before Richard could speak, Joy was already walking away again. Joy hurried into the house, her heart beating fast. The image of the poor man sitting helpless on the street stayed in her mind. She entered through the back door into the small kitchen where her mother was slicing vegetables. Her mother looked up. "Joy, where are you coming from?" "Mom," Joy said, breathing hard, I met someone, a poor man. He looks hungry and sick. He sleeps on the street. I gave him some food. Please, I want to tell Daddy about him. Maybe he can sleep here for a few days." Her mother turned fully to face her. "What did you just say?" "I said he needs help. He's been sleeping under the bridge. He looks like he hasn't eaten well in days. Please, Mom, we have a small empty room. He can sleep there." Her mother shook her head. "Joy, you just met a stranger and you want to bring him into our house? What if he's dangerous? You don't even know his name." Joy stepped forward. "But you always tell me to help people in need. You always say kindness matters." Her mother sighed and turned her eyes away, silent for a few seconds. "Where exactly did you see him?" "Close to the junction. He was sitting on the floor, shaking. I gave him food and he was so thankful. Please, Mom." Her mother sat down on a kitchen stool. "Is he an old man?" "No, Mom, he looks young, maybe in his 30s, but his body is weak." Her mother thought quietly for a moment, then she spoke. "Okay, let him come, but don't tell your father." Joy's eyes widened. "Really?" "Yes," her mother said. "You know how your father is. He listens to your stepmother too much. If he hears that a stranger is in this house, he will chase him out or insult me. I don't want trouble." Joy nodded. "Yes, I know." Her mother looked at her. "We'll put him in the small empty room near the backyard. But listen, he must not walk around during the day. He should stay in that room. Only come out at night, when everyone else is asleep or not home." "Thank you, Mom," Joy said. Her mother pointed her finger. "This is not a joke, Joy. If anything goes wrong, your father will not spare me. So please, keep everything quiet." "I promise." Joy didn't waste time. She ran back to the street where she left the man. He was still there, sitting by the wall, his arms crossed, looking cold and tired. "You're still here," she said, smiling. "I told you I would wait," he replied gently. "Come with me," Joy said. "I spoke to my mother. You can stay in our house, in a small empty room, but there are rules. You can't walk around during the day. You must stay quiet. My father doesn't know you are coming." Richard stood up slowly. "You're serious?" "Yes," she replied. "Let's go." They walked together under the quiet evening sky. When they reached the gate, Joy opened it slowly. She led him through the back, passing beside the kitchen, and finally into a small empty room near the back of the house. The room was simple, just a bare floor, a small window, and a wooden door, but it was clean. Her mother was already waiting. "So, this is him?" she asked, looking at Richard. "Yes, ma," Richard said, lowering his head. Her mother looked at him carefully, then nodded. "You can stay here, but you must not make noise. No walking around during the day. No talking to anyone else. Do you understand?" "Yes, ma, I understand. Thank you." Her mother turned to Joy. "Go inside and bring him a bucket of water, soap, and a wrapper he can use to dry himself. I'll bring him a mat and a plate of food later." Joy smiled. "Yes, ma." She went in and returned with the items. Richard stood silently, tears forming in his eyes. He had never received such kindness from strangers. "God bless you both," he whispered. "I don't know how to thank you." "You can start by resting," her mother replied. "You need strength." That night, Richard cleaned himself in the small bathroom behind the kitchen where no one could see him. Joy's mother later came with a warm plate of rice and stew. He ate silently and then lay down on the mat, looking at the ceiling. For the first time in many days, he felt safe. Inside the house, Joy sat on her bed, thinking about him. Something about him felt different. He didn't speak like other beggars. His words were clear, gentle, respectful. His eyes looked like they carried secrets. "Who are you really?" she whispered to herself. The next morning, Richard woke up early. He stood up slowly, stretched his arms and listened. The house was quiet. Birds chirped softly in the trees outside. A rooster crowed in the distance. He looked around the small room and smiled. It wasn't a mansion with golden walls or expensive furniture, but it was warm. It was safe, and it came with kindness, something money couldn't buy. After some time, he heard a soft knock on the door. "It's me, Joy," the voice whispered. Richard stood up and opened the door slightly. Joy stood there holding a small tray of breakfast, bread, boiled egg, and a hot cup of tea. "Good morning," she said with a smile. "Good morning," he replied, taking the tray gently. "Thank you so much." Joy stepped inside and looked around. "Did you sleep well?" "I haven't slept that well in a long time," Richard said truthfully. Joy sat on the wooden stool in the corner. "I hope the room is not too hot. Sometimes the window doesn't bring in enough air." "No, it's fine," he said. "It's more than enough." He ate quietly while Joy watched him. For a moment, they said nothing, but their eyes kept meeting. "Why were you on the street?" Joy finally asked. "What happened to you?" Richard paused. He couldn't tell her the truth. Not yet. So he said carefully, "Life turned upside down. I lost everything I had." Joy lowered her eyes. "I'm sorry." "You don't have to be," he replied softly. "You've done more for me than anyone else has ever done." Joy smiled, though her eyes looked sad. "I just wanted to help." "And you did." Suddenly they heard footsteps in the main house. Joy stood quickly. "My father is awake. I have to go." Richard nodded. "I won't come out until evening." 2 days later, trouble began. Martha, Joy's stepsister, had been watching. She'd seen Joy sneaking food to the back every morning and night. She told her mother, Madame Stella. "I think she's hiding a man." Madame Stella's eyes narrowed. "Watch her closely." That night, Martha followed Joy. After Joy left, Martha knocked on the small room door. Richard opened it, thinking it was Joy. Martha smiled wickedly. "So it's true." Richard stepped back. "I'm sorry. I'll leave right now." "Shut up." Martha locked the door behind her. "You're handsome. Sleep with me, or I'll tell my father." Richard pushed her away. "Get out." Martha screamed. "Daddy, help! There's a stranger trying to touch me." The compound exploded. Joy's father rushed out with a stick. Martha was crying fake tears on the floor. "He wanted to touch me." Joy's father raised the stick. "You came to steal and touch my daughter." He swung. Richard blocked it, falling backward. Joy and her mother ran out. "Daddy, stop! He didn't do anything." "This is the stranger you've been hiding." "Yes, but he's innocent. Martha is lying." Joy ran and held Richard's hand. "I won't let them hurt you." Her father stared at her. "You are fighting me because of this dirty man?" "He's not dirty. He's the kindest person I've ever met." Martha fake cried. "He touched me." "You're a liar," Joy screamed. Her father turned to Richard. "You have 10 minutes to leave before I call the police." Joy stood in front of Richard, tears streaming. "No, if he leaves, I go with him." Everyone gasped. Her mother stepped forward. "And I will go with my daughter. You chose your second wife over me long ago." Her father laughed mockingly. "So be it. Go, both of you." Madame Stella clapped. "Yes, go, village woman." Joy's mother's voice rose, strong and clear. "You think you're a man. You and your classy wife are the useless ones. You've treated us like slaves for years. Not anymore." She turned to Joy. "Pack, we're leaving now." 30 minutes later, they arrived at an old dusty house at the edge of town. The gate creaked. "This is my father's house," Joy's mother said. "It's been empty since my relative moved to the city last month." They walked inside. 2 rooms, a small kitchen, bathroom at the back, old but strong. Joy hugged her mother. "I'm proud of you." Her mother wiped her eyes. "No, I'm proud of you. You stood by a stranger when others turned against him." Richard looked around. "Mama, you shouldn't have followed me. You had a home." Joy's mother placed her hand on his shoulder. "My son, that man tormented us for too long. God used you to rescue us." "But what will you do now?" "We'll start fresh," Joy said. "We'll clean this house and live peacefully." Her mother nodded. "I'll sell vegetables again. What matters is peace and love." Later, Richard stood outside looking at the stars. Back in his mansion, he'd had 10 rooms, a private chef, gold plates, but he never felt at home. Here, in this small house with 2 women who'd shown him love, he felt something real. "I came looking for true love.
But I found something greater. A family. Days passed. Joy's mother sold vegetables. Joy helped her. Richard did odd jobs, cutting grass, fetching water, fixing windows. They had little, but they laughed often. One evening, Richard sat with Joy under the mango tree. Stars twinkled above. Joy leaned her head on his shoulder. Thank you for staying. I didn't have a choice. From the first day you gave me food, I felt something. I felt it too. Richard turned slowly and held her hand. Joy, I love you. Joy's eyes widened, tears filling them. I love you too. From the first day. Richard pulled her into a hug. Thank you. I should thank you. You made me believe in love. They talked for hours about dreams and fears. Joy spoke about finishing school, becoming a nurse. Richard just listened, smiling. She still had no idea who he really was. 2 weeks later, Richard called them into the sitting room. I've made a decision. I can't let you suffer because of me. I need to go to the city, work, save money. I want to marry Joy properly. Joy's heart dropped. To the city? Yes. I can't keep eating your food forever. No, I don't want you to go. Richard took her hand. Joy, this isn't a goodbye. It's a promise. I will come back. But what if you don't? I will. I swear. Joy's mother spoke. My daughter, let him go. He's a good man. He has dreams, and so do you. Joy's heart was heavy. Okay, but please, don't break my heart. I won't. You're the only one I have. The next morning, Richard packed his small bag. He hugged Joy's mother. Thank you for everything. Go well, my son. May God protect you. He turned to Joy. She looked at him with teary eyes. I'll be back, Joy. You've given me a reason to live again. She hugged him tightly. I'll wait for you, no matter how long. He kissed her forehead and walked away. Joy stood at the gate long after he left, staring at the road. When Richard returned to the city, he went straight to his father's mansion. He told him everything, how he'd pretended to be poor, how he met Joy, how her kindness changed him. Mr. Blake listened quietly. When he finished, the old man leaned back. She followed you when she had nothing to gain? Yes, Dad. She and her mother left everything. Mr. Blake smiled. Then she's the one. Let's go meet her. The next day, a black car drove into the small village. Joy and her mother were sitting outside. Richard stepped out, dressed well. Behind him came another man, tall, elegant, clearly wealthy. Joy and her mother froze. Richard? Yes, it's me. Joy blinked. You look rich. I am. And this is my father. They dropped to their knees in shock. Mr. Blake helped them up. Please, stand. I'm the one who should thank you. My son told me everything. Joy looked at Richard. Your name is really Richard Blake? Yes. I'm sorry for hiding it. I just wanted to be sure. But you showed me something real. And now, I want to marry you. Joy gasped. Really? Richard stepped closer. I love you, Joy. You've seen me at my lowest. You stayed. You deserve everything good. Joy covered her mouth, tears building. I love you too. Yes, I'll marry you. After a long hug, Joy pulled back. But Richard, you need to go to my father. Do things properly. Mr. Blake nodded. She's right. Culture is important. Richard and his father arrived at Joy's father's house. They greeted him respectfully. We've come to ask for Joy's hand to marriage, Mr. Blake said. Joy's father frowned. Never. You cannot marry Joy. Why? Martha is the first daughter. Until she's married, Joy cannot marry. It's our tradition. If you want Joy, marry them both. Or wait. Mr. Blake blinked in shock. That's ridiculous. That's our tradition. Richard and his father walked out without another word. Martha and Madame Stella stepped out, smiling wickedly. That poor girl cannot marry a billionaire. He belongs to my daughter. In the car, Mr. Blake suddenly sat up. Wait, I just remembered. My old school friend. He's now a king. His palace isn't far. Let's go. They arrived at the palace. The king came out, stared, then his eyes widened. Blake, is that you? They hugged like young boys. Mr. Blake explained the situation. The king laughed hard. That tradition was abolished over a year ago. Now, any daughter can marry. I'll send a message to the village. That marriage must go on. They returned to Joy with the good news. Joy jumped and hugged Richard tightly. Nothing can stop us now, Richard said. 2 days later, a royal messenger arrived at Joy's father's compound. His Royal Majesty has summoned you, tomorrow morning. The next day, Joy's father knelt before the king. The king's voice was strong. I've heard of your behavior. That tradition no longer exists. Accept the young man or face consequences. Yes, your majesty, I accept. Good. Now go bless your daughter before you lose her completely. That week, wedding plans began. Music played, guests came from far and wide. Joy wore a long white dress, glowing with happiness. Richard stood tall in elegant native attire. Joy's mother cried happy tears. Even her father came forward and gave his blessing. I was blind, but thank you for not giving up. Richard nodded. She's worth everything. After the wedding, Richard moved Joy and her mother to a beautiful mansion in the city. Shining floors, soft beds, a garden full of flowers. Peace had finally come. Back in the village, Martha and Madame Stella were furious. That poor girl is living in a mansion, Stella screamed. Martha clenched her fists. That's supposed to be me. Stella turned to her husband. You foolish man, why did you allow this? Joy's father stood suddenly. Shut up, you evil woman. You've controlled me for too long. You turned me against my real wife and daughter. I regret marrying you. But daddy, don't daddy me. You and your mother are the reason I lost everything. Late that evening, Stella and Martha packed a bag. They were going to visit a native doctor. If we can't stop them with words, we'll stop them with charms, Stella said coldly. Martha nodded. We have no choice. They boarded a bus. It was a dark, stormy night. Rain poured heavily. Thunder rumbled. As the bus entered a bend along a slippery hill road,
The driver lost control. The tires skidded. Passengers screamed. The bus rolled 3 times. By morning, the news was everywhere. Only 2 passengers didn't survive. Martha and her mother. They died instantly. 2 weeks later, Joy's father could no longer take the silence. His heart was heavy with regret. He dressed in his cleanest clothes and traveled to the city. When he arrived at the mansion gate, he knocked gently. Joy's mother came out. She stopped a few steps away, arms folded. He knelt immediately. Please, forgive me. I was a fool. I let pride turn me into something I'm not. I lost you. I lost Joy. Let us be together again. Joy's mother slowly shook her head. Never. What? Never in my life. I've moved on. I found peace. I don't need a man like you. But I'm not the same man. No, you are the same man, just weaker now. You only came back because the people you chose over me are gone. You didn't come back because you loved me. You came back because you are alone. His lips trembled. She stepped closer. You had a good woman and you threw her away like trash. You don't deserve to return to the peace you destroyed. Please, I have nothing left. I have everything now. Peace, love, and a real family. Go back home, live with your regrets. She turned and walked inside. He stood at the gate, crying. But it was too late. 1 year later, God blessed Joy and Richard with twin boys. They named them David and Daniel. Their home was full of laughter, baby cries, and love. Richard held Joy close. You were worth every test. Joy smiled, and you were worth every tear. Her mother rocked the babies gently, singing old songs. Peace had returned. The storm was over. From the street to the palace, from rejection to celebration, love had won, and they lived happily ever after. I know you enjoyed every bit of this story. If you want to support me in making more amazing videos like this, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, like this video, comment your thoughts, and share it with your friends so they can enjoy it too. I'll see you in the next video. Don't miss it.